So in this video, we're going to be talking about Sun in Sagittarius in the 5th house and what this placement means natally. So if you have this placement, you're in the right place. And with that being said, what does the Sun represent in astrology? So in astrology, the Sun rules the sign of Leo. And Leo is the fixed fire sign. So there's 3 different modalities in astrology. There's fixed, mutable, and cardinal. And, fixed signs are about things that are constant or steady. And a lot of times fixed signs can be stubborn, but they're all about a constant state of being. And, fire in astrology, the element, that's about action, perception, or energy. So what the fixed fire sign of Leo is about, it's about a constant state of action, or like a constant way that we tend to act, a constant way that we tend to perceive things. And also it's about a constant state of energy. Leo is about play and it's about children, but it's also about our ego, which is, our energy that we have. And that's what the Sun represents in astrology, because the Sun rules Leo. So the Sun shows our constant way of acting, and it can be unconscious to us, but it's like an effortless part of our chart that radiates, and it's how we shine in the world. It's how our actions come across, and it's also our ego, so how we want our actions to come across to others, or the role that we think that we have to play or that we want to play. And also it's the constant way that we tend to perceive things, especially how we tend to perceive how things relate to ourselves. So that's why it's about our ego, fixed fire. And if you think about it, the Sun is a fixed ball of fire. It always stays the same. It always rises and sets. And, we can always depend on its energy. And that's what Leo is about. It's about confidence. So, without being too scattered, now let's talk about what the Sun means in Sagittarius. So again, the Sun shows how we constantly tend to act, and it gets perceived as others as like kind of our character or like our personality. It's also something that could motivate us or motivate our actions, something that we want to be seen for. So with that being said, Sagittarius, the sign, is about higher principles. It's about knowledge, wisdom, or beliefs. But generally speaking, it just shows some sort of tendency of guidance. It's about teachers a lot of times, or it can even be about our relationship to the universe or to a higher power, and how it is that we feel guided or not guided by that power, and that all depends on the sign of Sagittarius in our charts. And it also depends on the 9th house, which is the house associated with Sagittarius. If you have a weak 9th house, or if you have like malefic planets in your 9th house, this will show somebody that has a lack of belief in something higher, or a lack of belief in some sort of philosophy, even if it's not religious or spiritual. So with that being said, with the Sun being in Sagittarius, this shows that your actions tend to constantly be guided by either wisdom or some sort of higher principles outside of yourself, or something above you that you perceive is greater than yourself and greater than others. And so maybe this comes from experience, or it could be from religion, or it can be from knowledge that you've learned, or anything that's that guides you. And this could be something that's internally experienced or externally experienced. So it doesn't have to come from a book. But generally speaking, as a Sagittarius Sun, you tend to have faith that things will go well, as long as you follow certain principles. And so this allows you to be more of a risk taker, and also you appear more confident to others. As a Sagittarius Sun, the universe will often use you as a compass to guide other people. And if we look at the sign of Sagittarius, it looks like an arrow, It's all about direction. So people just see you as somebody that's confident, or sometimes even can be full of themselves, because with Sagittarius being a fire sign, your Sun is very strong here. And Sagittarius is the 5th sign from Leo. And fifth is about ego as well. And the reason why Sagittarius can have such a big ego is because they believe in principles that are even higher than themselves. So they can have a superiority complex in either a good way or a bad way, you know. But people tend to admire you, and a lot of times people want to copy you, because Sagittarius is also the 11th sign from the 11th sign. It's the 11th from Aquarius, and Aquarius is about trend setting. So a lot of times you inspire others with your actions. That's what the sun means in Sagittarius. Because you tend to be guided by a higher force or a higher inspirations or like wisdom or experience that you've had. And you don't tend to overthink things, because Sagittarius is the opposite of Gemini. Gemini is about thinking. So your guys' actions tends to be like divinely inspired, or just they tend to be very authentic and spontaneous. And people tend to want to think about things through. So with that being, what are you doing? So sorry, like, with that being said, so people tend to want to think things through a lot of times, and they don't have faith. So you guys, that's why you guys are more so of like a guidance figure for others. People will tend to copy you guys and also just be inspired by you guys, because you guys are the 5th from Leo and the 11th from Aquarius. So this is about originality and confidence all together. I hope that wasn't too scattered. But in this case, your sun is in the 5th house. And so your actions tend to be guided by your ego, or the role that you feel like you are here to play. So a lot of times too, the sign that has the 5th house in Sagittarius is Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun. So this is a very strong ego placement. But generally speaking, you guys tend to be guided by this desire to experience things and learn new things. But also you guys are guided by higher principles, and you guys have a lot of faith in yourselves, and especially in your way of perceiving things, because the natural ascendant for this placement is in Leo. So you guys tend to be guided by your ego, and especially how you see things. It tends to be very fixed. Like, you guys don't change your perception of things. And so this can make you either appear strong to others or like stubborn in a lot of cases. But you guys are guided by what will bring the most value to others, or that what will boost your ego to the highest extent, and give you the most validation and recognition. So if I had to sum this placement up in one sentence, it shows that your actions tend to be guided by ego, or your perception of things, which is very strong and very confident. And also, it could be guided by the role that you are feeling that you came to play in this lifetime. And a lot of times you will play the role of a compass for others. Like, people will copy you or follow you, be inspired by you, or they will test you. Some people will test your confidence, and they will test your beliefs, or they will oppose you. And you're not somebody that will mold themselves for others, because your sun is in the 5th house, which is a fixed fire sign. That means the way that you act doesn't change circumstantially. You don't change yourself for others. So sometimes it can be hard for you to get along with people that are not compatible. And that's one of the weaknesses of the sign of Leo. That's they have Pisces in the 8th house. So that means they are not adaptable unless you have 8th house planets. And you are a Leo, or you have planets in Pisces or in the 12th house even. But anyways, that's a different topic. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, to sum this up and make it digestible, this shows this placement, Sun in Sagittarius in the 5th house, shows somebody that is guided by their ego, or guided by validation, or what will bring the most value to others. and be the most recognized. You guys can be very competitive, and you guys have a lot of faith in yourselves. So, very confident type of placement, especially with the ascendant being in Leo. Some of you guys, though, could be Cancer. Some of you guys can be Virgos. And then in a rare case, I feel like some could be not Gemini, but I'm not even sure any of you guys could be Libras or Geminis, but it's possible. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. And with that being said, if you did, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more content. And other than that, check out my Patreon as well for a free natal chart reading. For those of you guys that subscribe to that, and I can go in depth into your charts and answer any astrology questions about yourselves or about others. And I also post content on there like horoscopes and transits from time to time, different updates that are very helpful and give you the tea on what's going on astrologically. Other than that, I appreciate you guys watching and supporting in any way that you do, and I'll see you guys sometime soon in another video. Peace.